couple gold chains on me, dang-a-lang. We could take it there, homie, don't mean a thing. I know you heard about me, I make her sing.
What's up to everybody out there? It is the Sports Scene weekend turn up, and I personally want to say shout outs to Sports Scene, man, and shout out to this man that has brought me out here to do this insert for you guys and with you guys.
This is world domination.
The fact that you grew up around two women and your mom was always encouraging you.
Growing up, I wasn't, very, and she knew that, so it was.
You still is quiet.
but I say more now.
Showcase.
And she always knew that, and it was a thing of. She didn't want me to, bottle stuff in because of my persona. So she always, if she could see something was wrong with my face, she'd force me, tell me what it is.
Sure.
Even if it was, stupid stuff at school or something that had upset me at school and I didn't want to talk about it, she'd always, you need to talk about whatever was happening on your mind rather than just keeping it.
So in a certain way, the music is your mom's right now.
I guess
This is the place where you empty out all the things that you feel.
Yes, sir.
When I look at you, I think that you only listen to one kind of music, but since you sample, I can tell that you listen to different kinds of music. So what are some of your influences, not just when making an album, but just Jay artistically?
Kanye West.
For sure.
He's the greatest musician of all time. I listen to a lot of old school stuff too.
Yeah.
I've been listening to, you remember Peaches and Cream 112?
For sure.
That's my vibe right
For
now.
sure.
Stuff like that, I listen to a lot of stuff.
Do you feel like those melodies in the old stuff that you listen to help you with your melodies when you do it in your songs?
Generally with old music, people used to care more, I think. So the effort and how it can influence you in what we're doing today is good because they used to do a lot of stuff.
Sure.
That was even way before its time.
Let's start off with the Ricky feature. How did that come about?
I mean, that was that song, I feel like we had a song for my previous project, not my previous, but the first version of Anxiety. We had a song, and some politics happened, and the song wasn't on. And then we were at the awards show, at the South African Hip Hop Awards.
Mm-hmm.
There was some, we had a little, I don't know what it was. But then I salute him because at the awards he addressed it with me, and he didn't let it move with that type of misunderstanding. Sure. And just let it be what it was at the time. And we hashed it out, and then during the lockdown too, he called me.
Nice.
And he's he's just checking in, how's lockdown and everything going, he's ready to work. So I had the song already, and I was like, okay, you ready to work? I've got just the one.
Nice.
And I sent it to him, he sent it back, and that's how we move.
That's dope. That's like little trinkets that Sports Scene Weekend turn up is getting. You know what I mean? Just little jewels over there of how the makeup and breakups and makeups happen. And I also saw Flame at your house. A lot of people might not even know. They might think people are still beefing or whatever it might be misconstrued as because of social media and whatnot. But when I walked into your place, and thank you for allowing me there, by the way, it's not that often that someone in Joburg allows you into their home. So shout outs for that. And just seeing Flame there was really dope. So for the fans of both you guys, let them know how that happened, or what are things like there?
I mean, there wasn't a beef to say.
Sure.
It was, as you said, at the beginning of the interview, it's I pick up things when it comes to stuff like energy and stuff like that. So I noticed at some point that he wasn't in a good space, and he was around me, and I'm not a very big fan of people who, if you've got something happening on your mind or in your life, you rather lash out, and you need to see it through your behavior that something's going on, and then somebody has to sit you down what's happening? Do you want to talk about it? I like people to be like, yo, this is what's going on, so if I'm acting a little bit out of character, you should understand instead of just expecting people to deal with lash outs. And something had happened along those lines where he wasn't in a good space, and I felt like I didn't have to pay for that because I'm a brother to him, and I shouldn't be paying for whatever was going on in his life. And I just told him at the time, you need to go figure it out. And during the lockdown period, he actually did figure it out.
Lockdown's been good for so many reasons. You hear, Kali lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. It was very, very necessary.
With the lockdown, he sorted out what that was, and he came back to me. And
nice.
he told me like, if it wasn't even for the pressure of, you know, us not being in a good space, he wouldn't have sorted it. And, you know, we hashed it out, and he's himself again, and obviously that's my brother. So
that was dope, man. You know, we have so many hopes for you guys, especially the young up-and-coming dudes. So it is heartbreaking when you see guys in tiffs, but you also understand, because you were also a young bull at some point in time, but it's also nice when you guys make up and you realize, oh, okay, these people are growing up and they are learning their lessons. So that's always encouraging.
This is a big topic because it's so common and so prevalent these days.
Liquid Deep, like how did that happen?
I think it was a year ago. I don't know what he heard, but he actually hit me up and said, like, it's great to, I'll never forget it. Also, he's like, it's great to hear somebody that sounds like they care about the music.
Sure.
I forgot which song or what project it was, but that's the basis he hit me up about. He's like, it's just great to hear somebody that sounds like they care, and he'd like to get involved however way he can, and I've got his support. So when I was working on this project and a certain song, I was making that song, like I could hear him on this. So I was like, okay, this might be the one. I sent it to him, he sent it back.
How many tracks are going to be on this album? And since it's a deluxe, how many new songs are added on?
Now on Anxiety, originally it's 13 songs. And then on the deluxe, it's 18 with 2 bonus.
Showcase.
Back from what I want to do.
With the visuals, I think this is the one bad part about lockdown. I had planned, because I dropped last year in November, and I let the album, just do its run. And like fresh off the year, I had plans to do certain things. The lockdown happened, and, you also have to figure out like the point of doing certain things. I don't think now like to go have a big budget and go shoot a video at this point in time so that people enjoy it on their laptops. I don't think that's the right move for me right now. So as soon as things cool down, I will revert back to the plan and do what I was planning to do about visuals and those songs.
Speaking of Anxiety that you dropped before this deluxe, I personally feel like it really did what it was supposed to do for you and introduced you to a new audience, and in most cases also it introduced you to an audience that you already knew but really wasn't checking and familiar with you. Like people were forced to pay you some attention and respect along with it with this project, Do you feel like that happened for you as well? How do you feel like this project Anxiety was received?
It's never the goal to be like, with this project, let me finally become, or whatever, like goals to become. It's always like, can I do better than my previous project?
Sure.
Can I capture more people with this new music?
What do you think you really honed in on and you really got right?
That's a great question. I think just the timing, because I hadn't released a solo project in like 2 years.
Sure.
The growth in the music, cause I listened, you remember when we had the other interview?
Yeah.
I told you like I've got songs from like 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago, but like a month ago that are like sounding old, and you can imagine what stuff from like my previous projects sound like. So it's something I would like to represent me and like the artist that I'm trying to become.
What's in my pockets, nigga? Cash on arrival.
What does it do for you when you get to work with so many different artists and churn out their sound? I can imagine how it improves you as an artist, and not just a producer. But so just talk about his project and how has it been like recording him?
25K was actually, we were at the same show, and he was on stage at the time, and I think I was backstage. And his DJ was playing the Culture Vulture song, and I didn't know it at the time because I didn't have a video or anything out at the time, and I don't really listen to radio. And like when it was playing, I was like, what the hell? Like, who is this? Because it was just so fresh. It was something that I felt like has never been done here. in terms of like the type of music it is, because it's like jug, but like on a whole different, you know. So and he's doing it like, you know, in Zwana, and it's crazy. So I was wondering, like, people are bobbing, and I'm like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? And I walked up to his DJ. I was like, yo, who's this nigga? And then he's like, 25K, and you know, gave me his Instagram handle. And then as soon as I got home, or the next day, I hit him up and I was like, hey, I actually heard the song also, I went to go get it. And I heard it properly, I was like, oh shit, I was right. And next day, I hit him up immediately. I was like, you know, there's so much more we could do with that sound. And if you trust what I'm saying, come record a project with me. And then he's like, okay, let's meet up. And then he came to my place, and I think we recorded a song that day. And again, when you recorded, I was like, snap, I was right. And then from there, it just became a thing of, I wanted to give like a broader, like make sure like he's not gonna drop the same type of song, or like he can actually grow within that sound, because I didn't want him to lose it at all. Because the sound, like, you could hit it in so many different angles, instead of maybe just, you know, the song that was out at the time. You could talk about your mom in that way. You could talk about, I don't know, your life in the same way. You could clean up the music. So that's what I was telling you. Those are things that I think we got it right.
She's so troublesome, I hit can't cuff no officer. Yeah, I'm ignoring her, she think that she my boss or something.
A lot of guys, not a lot, but like I have artists that I want to focus on. I've actually got an imprint, Pith audio, and the first project that came out of there was the joint EP with me and Diamonds, the Die Dope EP, and I've got the Flame and Diamonds one coming out, Red Light District. I have Anxieties also from the same label. With the imprint and what's coming, 25K is also, that's under the same imprint. It's also coming out in the Pith audio.
Yeah. You don't know.
So how did you feel when you got into the game and you said, I felt like really I've been over-prepared and unimpressed? That's crazy. I remembered that.
It upset a lot of people too.
Did it?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess, I mean, people would be upset. How do you take that? Because there's also things that you say in your lyrics. As rappers, you guys always have this chip on your shoulder, and that's why I couldn't rap. I just didn't have that chip. You know what I mean? It's like you go into this other beast mode in yourselves. It's always fascinated me. I guess that's why I'm always like fascinated by the art form. But how do you sit with yourself having said something that you know someone might take the wrong way?
They don't exist.
Issue.
Because like, I don't think, I rarely say stuff I have to take back, you know, because I take time to think about what I'm trying to say, and if it does upset a person, then they taking offense to it, you know. So I don't think for me those conversations happen. If I'm saying something on the song, that's what I'm saying on the song.
You meant it, no doubt. That's it, people. It's a wrap. Shout outs to everybody for watching. Shout outs to Sports Scene Weekend. Turn up responsibly.
Children, I wonder how I got here from a village. Keep all your opinions, bitch, I did it.